أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Welcome to today's class. I'm going to select student A5121 to recite the opening prayer for me.
Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum. Could you please recite this prayer over here for me?
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ربي علمني ما هو خير عندك.
Jazakallah. Almost there. So over here, hu and wa. So simple dhamma stroke and simple fatha stroke. So when you join it together, huwa. Okay? Rabbi allimni ma huwa khayrun indaka. So just read this part again from me, from huwa, please.
هو خير عندك.
Okay. And just over here, do you know what sign is above the ra on the khayrun?
Inverse dhamma.
So it's not an inverse dhamma quite. It's the tanween of dhamma. So when you read it, it's khayrun. It produces like a noon sound. Khayrun. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. Jazakallah. And if you could please read the second one as well for me.
ربنا نقبل منا.
So over here, before you move on, what's this letter here? Let me just zoom in for you. It's got two dots above it. So it's not a noon. Say again for me, please.
Ta.
Yeah, brilliant. So when you're reading it, رَبَّنَا تَقَبَّلْ مِنَّا. Okay? Okay, and if you can read on from me from there, please.
إنك أنت السميع العليم.
Well done, Jazakallah. Thank you very much. And can you please read the translation for me? First,
Oh my Lord, teach me what is best for me in your knowledge.
and the second one?
Our Lord, accept from us, for you are all hearing, all knowing.
Excellent, Jazakallah. Thank you very much. And you're A5121, yes?
Yes.
Okay, Jazakallah. Okay, so for today's lesson, we are going to continue with lesson number 2, which is the lesson on Waqf, the 10 cases of Waqf. So before we do that, we are going to do a very quick recap of yesterday's lesson, where you started this second lesson. So those of you that were here, looking at the screen in front of you, can someone give me a very brief recap of what you did yesterday? What did you learn about in the first case that we've been discussing? Okay, let's have N6119. Assalamu alaikum. N6119, can you tell me what you learnt about in yesterday's class?
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam.
We learned that we make the last letter. We replace the fatha, kasra, or dhamma with a sakin. If like we're ending the verse.
Okay, excellent. So if you're making a pause, the basic rule was if the word ends in a fatha, dhamma, or kasra stroke, it's very simply just going to take a sukoon, so it becomes a sakin letter. Excellent. So what I'm going to do is, whilst you're still with me, let me just get yeah, there we go. So out of the ones that you can see in front of you, can you tell me which are the letters that you would consider in case 1? So the ones ending in fatha, dhamma, or kasra. And if you can read for me how you would read it if you're continuously reading, and then how you're going to read as if you're pausing. So first of all, try and identify them for me. Out of the ones in the first row, which examples end in a fatha, dhamma, or kasra?
So the first one does.
Excellent. Yep. So if you read the first one as if you are just going to continue and not stopping, how would you read it?
Yawmi.
Brilliant. And if you're going to make a pause, this kasra is taking the sukoon. So how are you going to read it when pausing?
Yawm.
Excellent. Well done. Okay, so we had this example, which was an extra point on that particular slide. So could you tell me how you would read it if you're continuously, if you're going to read it continuously without stopping?
Vasvaya.
So remember, this is meme, so mathwaya. And when you're going to pause, how are you going to read this? So again, the ya is going to take the sukoon, but the way that you read it will be a little bit different to what you may initially think. So have a go at reading it for me.
Masvai.
Almost there. So mathway would be if there was no alif there. If there was no alif there, then this would be a simple huruf al-lin. But because the alif is there, the way that you're going to read it is mathwaj. Mathwaj. So you are going to prolong the alif a little bit, and the ya, you're going to hear a slight sound of the ya coming through. So mathwaj. Okay?
Okay.
Okay, brilliant. Any other examples that you can see of just plain fatha, dhamma or kasra, maybe in this line over here?
The third one?
Yeah, excellent. So this is exactly like this example here. So when we read it, we're not going to read it as iyay because of the alif in the middle. So this isn't going to be a lean letter. Can you have a go at reading this one for me when you're pausing? So when you've added the sukoon at the end?
Iyaj.
Excellent, well done. Iyaj. Brilliant. Any other examples you can see in the final line?
The third one?
So not the third one, because this is ending.
Oh, the first one.
Yeah, brilliant. So if you're continuously reading, how are you going to read it?
Nudiya.
Well done. And if you're pausing, the fatha is replaced by a sukoon. So how would you read it?
Nudi.
Yeah, well done. Nudi. So it's going to be equal length. Okay, jazakumullah. Does that lesson make sense to you? Thank you very much. Does that lesson make sense to you? Did you have any questions?
Yeah, it makes sense.
Okay, brilliant. Okay, jazakallah. Thank you very much. N6119, that was well read. So hopefully that's clear. It's a very simple rule. You just have to remember fatha, dhamma or kasra at the end of a word. The way that you're going to pause on it, you're just going to replace that stroke with a sukoon. So we are going to move on to case number 2. So there are 10 altogether, remember. We're on case number 2. Again, this is quite a basic rule. So this is looking at fatha, dhamma, kasra at the end again, but this time it also has the shadda sign on it. So you can see in this example over here, you've got a dhamma stroke, simple dhamma stroke, so it's just 1 second, but you this time have a shadda. So the first thing is to look out for is to make the last letter mute when it carries a fatha, kasra or dhamma along with a shadda. So very simply, exactly the same thing. It's just going to take a sukoon at the end of the word if you're pausing there. What you have to just be mindful of is, first of all, remember that when you have a shadda letter, it's like having the same letter written twice next to each other. So this noon with a shadda is the same as having 2 noons written next to each other. So what you have to consider is that with a shadda letter, extra emphasis because it's equivalent to 2 letters. And the other thing is, remember in one of our lessons previously, we've looked at the ghunna, the 2 letters where we perform a ghunna, which is a nasal sound, which is produced from the nose. So the 2 letters that we have to remember in this case is noon and meme, both of which will be carrying the shadda. So the only thing you have to be mindful of is, again, it's just going to be a sukoon at the end, but you are still going to make that ghunna sound when you're pausing. So if you look in this example, yadhunnu, yadhun, yadhun, you're still trying to make a nasal sound come through because this is a ghunna letter, noon and mim mushaddad especially. And then over here, an-nabiyyu, an-nabiyy. So again, remembering even when pausing, even if it's taking a sukoon, if it's becoming a sakin letter, there's still going to be that emphasis from the shadda. So let's have a look. Quite a few, you've got your hands raised. What we will do is go back to that summary sheet and we'll see if there are any examples over there. Okay. So I am going to pick from a file this time. Let's have a look. Okay, I'm going to book A1132. Assalamu alaikum. A1132.
Assalamu alaikum, but I'm not A1132. I'm A1133.
Okay, do you want to read instead then?
Okay.
Okay. So in the first line, can you see any examples where the word ends on a fatha, dhamma, and kasra and also has a shadda? Can you see any in this first line over here? If you can't, that's fine. We can move on to the next line. Do you think they're only here?
No.
Okay. Second line, can you see any examples of fatha, dhamma, kasra also with a shadda?
Yeah, the first one.
Brilliant. Yeah, excellent. So we have this one on the slide again. So could you just read it for me as if you are continuously reading without stopping?
Yazun.
So not quite. Remember, the noon hasn't taken the sukoon yet. So when you're continuously reading, you're reading with that stroke of dhamma. So yadhunnu.
Yazunnu.
Brilliant. And if you're pausing, remember you're going to apply the sukoon onto the noon this time, replacing the dhamma. And this is a ghunna letter, remember? Mim and noon are the two ghunna letters. So when you're going to pause, you're going to hear that noon sound come through. So how do you think you're going to read it when pausing?
Yazun.
Excellent. Yadhun. So bit of emphasis on the noon mushaddad because of the shadda. Can you see any other examples over here of fatha, dhamma, kasra with shadda?
Is it the second line?
It's not quite the second one. So we do have a mim mushaddad here, but because it's attached to the alif, it becomes a different case. So we're going to come to that later on, but it's not quite that one. Can you see any others in this line?
Yeah, the third row.
Brilliant. So if you're reading it continuously, how do you read it?
An-Nabihu.
An-nabiyyu.
An-Nabiyyu.
And if you're pausing, how will you read it?
An-Nabi.
Well done. Yeah, excellent. Well done. Any in this line over here?
Yeah, the first one.
Yeah, brilliant. And what do you have to pay attention to apart from the shadda?
The who?
Not the who. So in this word over here, why do you think we have to pay special attention to the noon with a shadda? What do we have to remember to do on it?
You have to make a different sound.
Yep, so you're going to make that nasal sound from your nose, the ghunna. So read it without stopping first.
Hunna.
So remember, this is lam. If it was an alif, it wouldn't be attached to this ha. So this is, yep, go on.
Lahunna.
Brilliant. And if you're pausing, how are you going to read it?
Lahun.
So not lahun, because lahun would become a waw madda. We're going to still keep this dhamma sound short. We're just going to put emphasis on this noon. So lahun.
Lahun.
Yeah, brilliant. Well done. Any other examples with a shadda, fatha dhamma kasra with a shadda at the end?
Kasra, the second one.
Yep, excellent. So read it continuously fast. So can you see over here the difference between the alif and the lam? The alif, if it comes in the beginning, it's not going to be attached to anything. So this is separate, and then the lam is attached to the meme. So read it without stopping fast.
Just a question. Do you know
Yeah.
that after lam there's a kind of small, it's like attached? I don't know, is it ba?
Do you mean this one over here? Yeah, so this is a meme. So the ba, the dot would be
Underneath.
sort of separate to it.
Yeah.
So this is a meme over here.
Oh, masa, sur.
So try again. So this is alif lam, meme, and then fa connected to a ra. So al-mafarru.
Al-mafarru.
And if you're pausing, so the ra is going to take a sukoon. How would you read that?
Al-mafarru.
Excellent. Well done. Jazakallah. That was very well read. So you're are you A1333 then?
Yep.
A1133. Okay, Jazakallah. Thank you very much. So let's move on then. Again, it's quite simple to recognize. It's just about remembering, first of all, to put extra emphasis on that letter, even if it's a sukoon at the end. And also remembering meme and noon ghunna. You're going to apply the nasal sound when you're pausing. So let's move to a very, very quick recap. Just a bit of a recap on shadda. So I'm going to choose this time N6116, I think it is. Assalamu alaikum. N6116?
Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum. You haven't read yet, have you?
No.
Okay, that's fine. So just a very quick practice of our shadda letters. Could you read the first line for me, please?
Okay. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم Rabbi.
Excellent. If you're going to pause, how do you think you're going to pause on this? What stroke is going to replace this kasra over here?
1 second.
It's going to be 1 second, yeah. But when you're going to make a stop, so if it's a fatha dhamma kasra at the end, what's going to replace this kasra? So you're not going to read it as Rabbi again when you're stopping. How would you read it instead?
So I'm thinking it will be like Rub.
Excellent. Yep. So that means that this kasra is going to be replaced by a sukoon on top of there. So Rab. There's going to be a bit of a vibration on that. We don't cover that in this course, but just for you to be aware, because ba is part of a different set of letters that you vibrate when they have a sukoon on it. So Rab. Okay?
Yeah, okay.
Okay, yep. Carry on. Next one, please.
Sadaka.
Excellent. And a recap of case number 1. This is going to take a sukoon. So how would you read it when you're pausing?
You mean in the middle one? You mean the one that is red?
No, so ignore that. That's just the letter which carries the shadda. I'm just testing your knowledge of how to perform the waqf. So this is part of yesterday's lesson. So if you're going to pause after this word, what's going to change with the qaf? What sign is going to replace the fatha?
So I would say it like Sadak.
Excellent. Saddaq. So again, it's going to take a sukoon and it's going to replace the fatha. Okay, next one, please.
Hubban.
Well done. Next one.
Farat.
Next one.
Falahu.
So remember, this is ta.
Oh yeah.
So remember, fa has got the 1, ta has got 2, and then this ha, it's got a vertical fatha, so it's a r sound for 2 seconds. So try again.
Dalahu.
So again, ha, it's going to be a ha sound. So talaha,
Talaha.
talaha. Remember, we're putting emphasis on this ha because it's carrying a shadda. Talaha.
Talaha.
Well done. And the next one.
Su'irat.
Well done. Read this one for me, please.
Qaddama.
Well done. And if you're going to stop, what's going to change on this meme? So it's got a fatha at the moment, but what's going to change on it if you're going to stop there?
So it's going to be like qaddam.
Yeah, brilliant. So the sign it's going to take is a sukoon on there. Qaddam. Okay. This one over here.
Sayazakkaru.
Well done. Very good. And if you're pausing, again, it's going to take a sukoon. So how would you read it?
Sayazakkar.
Excellent. Very good. And this one over here.
Akhara.
Well done. And if you're pausing, how would you read it?
Akhar.
Yeah, brilliant. This one over here.
Oh, okay. Fakkara.
Yep. And if you're going to pause, how would you read it?
Fakkar.
Brilliant. This one over here.
Al-Haqqu.
Brilliant. So again, this is an example of the case that we're looking at today, where it's just fatha, dhamma, or kasra at the end. So we've got dhamma here, and also shadda. So how are you going to read it when you're pausing?
Al-Haq.
Yeah, again. So al-haq, you're going to vibrate the qaf sound a little bit, just because it's part of that same group of letters as the ba. But yeah, al-haq. Okay, perfect. So that's very well done. So you recognized all of the ones and how to correctly perform waqf on it. So well done, Jazakillah. Your N6116, yep?
Yep.
Okay, Jazakillah. Thank you very much. Okay, so I think most of you that I've chosen today, you've correctly recognized how to apply this rule. So it is quite straightforward, again, like yesterday's rule. You're just applying the sukoon, replacing the stroke, and if it's mim or noon with a shadda, it's going to be the nasal sound as well that you're producing, the gunna sound. So we are going to look at a very quick recording. So this is from the Al-Tartil classes which Hafizab has taken in the past. And this is really just to help you recognize just exactly how much emphasis you need to put on those letters which have a shadda. And especially the meme and noon. So I'm going to play this. It's a couple of minutes long, about 3 minutes, I think. So this will just give you a good idea of examples from the Holy Quran and how to correctly apply the waqf on them. I would definitely recommend if you're looking to revise this lesson to visit this. It is on YouTube. It's just Al-Tartil lesson 43. And it's from about 5 minutes 30 where I'm playing it, but again you can listen to it from the start of the class. So let's just play this.
Last one. Inna Allah wa malaikatahu yusalluna ala nabi. Okay, because this is not nabi or ya is a letters of prolongation. Is ya here is not a harful mad, but is a consonant because of a double letter. Shadda is there.
So this is the point that I was making earlier on. Just remembering that when you're pausing here, you're not going to prolong this. It's not going to become a haruful madda where you're doing it for 2 seconds when you pause. So it's not going to be an-nabi. You're not going to prolong it. You're putting just emphasis on this ya because of the shadda which is above it. So it's a double ya. And you're not prolonging it at all. So ailan nabi. Ailan nabi.
Try again. Inna Allah وملائكته يصلون على النبي. Okay, good. Okay, so strong pause will be manifested if the last letter holds the shadda sign. Everything is clear, and these are the another some examples. And remember, there are two letters of nasal sound, gunna. One is noon, which you tried that, libasul lahun, and the second one, the second letter, mim. Okay, mim mushaddad. Okay, Adi, you do first line. Yes. فاستجبنا له ونجيناه من الغم. Good, well done. Okay, come and do again. Second line. وألقوه في غيابة الجب. Good. Next.
So notice again with the ba, because it's part of that group of letters, there's a slight vibration on it compared to other letters.
فلا رفث ولا فسوق ولا جدال في الحج. Okay. في الحج. Ha from the middle of throat. It's a sharp cutting sound. Okay, as compared to the blunt sound of ha. Ha, like a ha. So try again. فلا رفث ولا فسوق ولا جدال في الحج. Good. Adi, next. قل الله يهدي للحق. Well done. This lam, qulillah, lam of Allah, lam al-jalala, will be pronounced thick or thin? Thin. Well done. Because the previous letter lam, qul, quli, there is a, that holds a kasra. Okay, agreed? That's good. تبت يدا أبي لهب وتب. Good, well done. Case 9. وقلنا اهبطوا بعضكم لبعض عدو ولكم في الأرض مستقر ومتاع إلى حين. Well done.
Okay, so those were the few examples that I wanted to share with you. Again, it's very good practice for just applying this rule with the letters which carry shadda at the end, especially with the mim and noon gunna. So I definitely encourage you to go back to this video, and if you want, you can put the audio on mute and just have a go at reading through these verses yourselves, because it's a really good way to practice how to manifest that shadda sound really well. Okay, so we are going to move on and we're going to have a look at some examples from the Holy Quran, which we're going to practice reading. So the first surah we're looking at is Surah Talaq. So I'm going to pick a couple of students. I've highlighted certain verses because they are the ones that we want to focus on for this lesson. And I'm going to start off by picking, let's have a look at who we have in Atfal at the moment. Okay, let's have A5101. Assalamu alaikum. A5101. A5101, can you hear me? No? Okay, I'll try and come back to them. Okay, let's have A5111. Assalamu alaikum. A5111. Assalamu alaikum. Can I get you to please read from the beginning of the surah, from here with A'udhu Billah and Bismillah first?
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم يا أيها النبي إذا طلقتم النساء فطلقوهن لعدتهن وأحصوا العدة.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to get you to recite again, but this time the points that I've highlighted on the screen, these are all places where you've seen a shadda, but the sound has to be a lot stronger, so you have to put a lot more emphasis when you're reciting those letters, because at the moment you're basically reading it as if there wasn't a shadda. So I'll give you an example over here. إذا طلقتم طلق. So this lam, when you're joining it with this ta, because it's got a shadda, you're putting extra stress on that letter. So إذا طلقتم. Can you read just this from إذا for me?
إذا طلق.
Excellent, well done. إذا طلقتم. So now you're going to join the two words together. So إذا طلقتم النساء النساء. So this time you've got a noon with a shadda, and you're producing a nasal sound when you're joining these. So you have to remember two things. Firstly, over here, the lam's got a shadda. And then over here again, when you're joining this word with an-nisa'a, you're getting a noon mushaddad. So in two places, you have to put extra emphasis. So read from idha up until nisa'a.
إذا طلقتم النساء فطلقوهن لعدتهن.
Okay, almost there. So you put emphasis, you held that noon sound, but the emphasis needs to come when you're joining it with the meme. So إذا طلقتم النساء النساء. So try again from طلقتم.
طلقتم النساء.
Excellent, very good. And then just read from here, from fa.
فطلقوهن لعدتهن وأحصوا العدة.
Almost there. So again, فطلقوا فطلقوا. Hunna is very good. You read hunna well. Hunna. This over here, it's not very clear, but this again is a shadda on the dal. So you've got a shadda here on the noon mushaddad, shadda on the dal, and shadda on this noon again. So when you read it all together, فَطَلِّقُوهُنَّ لِعِدَّتِهِنَّ. So noon mushaddad again, you're going to make that nasal sound. هُنَّ لِعِدَّتِهِنَّ. So read from here, please, up until here. Well done, excellent. And over here, just read the end of the verse. So try again for me. You're joining this ayn with a kasra, with a dal mushaddad. Iddata. Yep, so read from wa ahsul iddata. Okay, well done. I'm just going to take you back to this sheet over here, and I want you to read a couple of words for me. So if you can read this first example here. So remember, the ba is carrying the shadda, and it's joining with a ha sakin and then a ha with a dhamma. So read it all together for me.
Sabbihu.
Excellent. Sabbihu. And the next one for me.
Mukibba.
Mukibban. And the next one for me.
Burrizat.
Excellent. Next one.
Yazzaka.
So you put the emphasis on the za, but remember the qaf is the one that has the shadda. So yazakka. Yazakka.
Yazakka.
Well done. Okay, read this one for me, please.
Suyirat.
Excellent. And this one over here.
Nubaddila.
Well done. Okay, good. So over there, you've read the Shadda very well, but it does become a bit more tricky when you've got the Holy Quran, because you have to not only think about how to stress the Shadda, but also joining the words together. So I'm going to ask you, so over here, if you were going to stop over here, just for the sake of doing this example, so if you wanted to stop at the end of this word, right now, which stroke does the noon have on top of it?
Fatha.
Fatha. And so what we've been learning about today is if we're stopping on a letter which has Fatha, Dhamma, or Kasra, and also Shadda. So what's the Fatha going to be replaced by if you're going to pause here?
Dhamma.
Not Dhamma. So Fatha, Dhamma, Kasra, they're all the same stroke, and the Shadda is also there, but they all change into one thing when you make a pause. So let me go back here. So it's going to change to, what's this sign over here? Just
Sukoon.
above the Shadda. Sukoon. Excellent. Yeah. So if you're going to put a sukoon on top of the noon here and you're going to stop, how are you going to read this word? Starting from li.
Li'iddatihin.
Almost there. So you don't want the ah sound at the end. You want to put the sukoon there. Li'iddatihin.
Li'iddatihin.
Well done. Very good. So look at, again, this example over here. Exactly the same. This noon has got the shadda. So we have to remember mim and noon with a shadda. We're making that ghunna sound, that nasal sound. And it's got a fatha at the moment. Again, what's it going to be replaced by when you pause there at the end of this word?
Sukoon.
Sukoon. Brilliant. So how are you going to read this?
Buyutihin.
Brilliant. Very good. Buyutihin. Okay, and just read this final example for me. So again, exactly the same. The noon with a fatha is going to be replaced with the sukoon if you decide to stop here. So how are you going to read it if you're stopping?
Ajalahun.
Brilliant, very good. Try a bit more of a nasal sound. Ajalahun.
Ajalahun.
Excellent, very good, Jazakallah. So it was a bit of a struggle in the beginning, but you've really mastered that. So very well done. Just remind me of your ID again. Your A5111, yes?
Yeah.
Okay, Jazakallah, perfect. Could you please give it to your sister now? Is it your sister, N6108?
Yes.
Okay.
Assalamualaikum.
Assalamu alaikum. So can I get you, please, to read over here? So if I get you to start from this verse, verse number 7, yeah. So if you can read from the beginning, and then if you decide now, looking that you're going to stop here at this small ta, you can make a pause here. First of all, tell me, what are you going to change from this fatha? What stroke are you going to put on instead? Begins with an S.
Sukoon.
Yep, excellent. So fatha dhamma kasra would be replaced with a sukoon. Okay, so if you start from here with Auzu Billah and then read up to here.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم أسكنوهن من حيث سكنتم من وجدكم ولا تضروهن لتضيقوا عليهن.
Okay, so you pause correctly. Alayhin. Just a bit more of a nasal sound to come through, but you correctly put the sukoon on. Alayhin. Try to read that again with more of a nasal sound.
عليهن
Okay, very good. So over here, the reason that I've highlighted these two is because you correctly paused on the shadda, so you put extra emphasis on the letter, but you actually ended up prolonging it more than 1 second. So remember, even though we're going to stress the noon, we're not going to make the actual stroke any longer, so it's still going to be 1 second. So when you read it together, askinuhunna. Read just that bit for me, please.
Askinuhunna.
Well done. And then read this whole line. Askinuhunna min haythu.
Askinuhunna min haythu.
Excellent. Okay, so this second part, the reason I've highlighted this is because of the way that you joined these together. So the way that you're going to read it is sakantum min wujdi.
Sakantum min wujdi.
Okay, well done. And then just read from here. So from here up until this hunna, and what I want you to do here is on this noon, pretend that you're going to make a pause. So again, you're going to put the sukoon on the noon, and I want you to read that from wala.
Wala tuzarruhun.
Yeah, excellent, very good. So again, you remembered that you're going to prolong again, little bit more time here because it's at least 4 seconds. And very good that you correctly joined the ra mushaddad with this dal. So well done. And if you could do the same, so if you can carry on from wa up until the end over here.
وإن كنا أولات حمل فانفقوا عليهن حتى يضعن حملهن.
Okay, so again, you paused correctly, but the problem, again, is similar to what was here. What you did was you put emphasis on the noon, wherever you saw the shadda, but then you make the stroke longer. So remember, in our very first lesson, we talked about the fatha dhamma kasra stroke, how it should just be the 1 second on its own, no more than that. So you just be mindful of how much time you prolong it for. So when you read this, وَإِن كُنَّا. Okay, وَإِن كُنَّا, not kunna, because then that would make it incorrect because you've put too much time on that fatha stroke. So وَإِن كُنَّا أُولَاتِ حَمْلٍ. Over here, this is not quite related to the lesson, but what do we call this letter here?
A waw.
Wow, excellent. And are we going to put any time on this wow? Are we going to read it or are we just going to miss it out?
Do you like prolong it for a little bit more?
So not in this case. The reason I highlighted this was because this wow, it's got no sign, no stroke. If it had a sukoon on it, then it would become a wow madda. So yes, you would prolong it for the 2 seconds. But this is an example of a blank wow. And for this reason, because it's blank, it's got no stroke on it, we're not giving any time to it at all. So it's just the 1 second on the alif. Ulati. Okay? Okay, so if we go back, if you can just read up until hamlin, hamlin, just over here.
وإن كنا أولى حمل.
Yep, well done, Jazakallah. And then again, just the end of the verse. So again, be careful of this noon. Even though you're putting stress on it, you are going to make sure that you don't make it longer than 1 second because it's fatha. So from فَأَنْفِقُوا.
فأنفقوا عليهن حتى يضعن حملهن.
So over here, just join this letter again. So this over here on the ayn is a sukoon. So when you join the dal with it, it's going to be a dha. So altogether, يضعن. يضعن.
يضعن
Okay, well done. So just read from hatta up until the end of the verse.
حتى يضعن حملهن.
Yeah, very good. Jazakallah. So just keep practicing that. Your shadda is good. So you've remembered to stress those letters which have a shadda, but you just need to be careful of the stroke that you have on that letter. So just keep it to 1 second if it's a fatha, dhamma or kasra. Okay. Okay, Jazakallah. So what's your ID again, please? N6108. Yeah.
6108.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. Jazakallah. N6134, please stop requesting the remote control. Okay, so let's take a couple more students. From Atfal, I'm going to try A5101 again to see if he's there. A5101, Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. A1132?
My brother's not here. Just
Okay, that's fine. So it's just you. That's fine. No worries.
like he's got like tuition.
Okay, no worries. Thank you. Okay, A5127, are you there?
Yeah.
Okay. Can I get you then to read? Can you start from this verse over here? And again, you're going to pause over here. So we've got exactly the same. We've got a nun mushaddad, and it's going to take a sukoon when you pause there. So just start from the beginning of verse number 13, please.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الله الذي خلق سبع سماوات ومن الأرض مثلهن.
Well done. So over here, the recitation was actually very good. The only thing was over here on the lam. So the lam over here is carrying a vertical fatha, which makes it a 2-second prolongation. It was a little bit too short. I think you read it as Allahu, Allahu or something like that. So just remember 2 seconds, Allahu. Okay? And also over here, I think you made this a bit too long. So remember this is just a fatha stroke. So alladhi. So if you could just read again up until samawat.
الله الذي خلق سبع
Try again, just yeah, good.
سماوات.
Well done, very good. And let's have a look. Okay, so this word over here, can you read it just the word on its own? Just read it without stopping.
بكل.
Well done. And if you're going to stop, what are you going to change about the stroke? So right now it's a kasra under the lam. What's it going to take instead if you're going to pause there?
The sukun.
Excellent. So if you're going to pause, how are you going to read it?
بكل.
Yep, very good. Bikul. Well done. So over here, can you read from the beginning of this verse and just pause at this jim?
يا أيها النبي لما تحرم ما أهل الله
Okay. Yeah, well done. The other thing was just start with Bismillah because it's a new surah. And over here, I think, again, so you put the emphasis on the noon with a shadda, but you made it a bit too long. So this is just fatha. Ya ayyuhan nabiyyu. Hanna. So the emphasis, the stress is on the noon. We're not going to make it any longer. Ya ayyuhan nabiyyu. If I were to stop here, what's going to replace the dhamma stroke?
سكون.
Excellent. So how are you going to read it?
يا أيها النبي.
Yep. So you got it right, hannabish. But remember again, don't make this too long. Ya ayyuhanna. Okay, not hanna because that would make it incorrect. Ya ayyuhannabish. Okay.
يا أيها النبي.
Well done. The other thing was, so I was just testing your knowledge here. This is an example of the case you covered yesterday. So if a letter is finishing on a fatha, dhamma or kasra, it's just going to take a sukoon. So if you're going to stop here, how are you going to read the last two letters?
لك.
Yep, brilliant. Okay, and just finish up to here. Again, so you're stopping at this small ta. What's going to replace this fatha on the kaf?
سكون.
Sukoon again, yep. So start from here, from tabtaghi.
تبتغي مرضات أزواجك.
So over here, this is an example of an alif madda. So how many seconds would you prolong it for?
2.
Yep. So read again from Azwa.
أزواجك.
Well done. And just read to the end of the verse for me.
والله غفور رحيم.
Excellent. Very good. So you corrected yourself here, remembering it's 2 seconds on the lam for Allah. Okay, Jazakallah. Well done. That was well read. You are 85-127, is it?
Yes.
Yep. Okay, Jazakallah 85-127. We're going to take one student from Nasrat. Where's they gone? Okay. N6131, are you there?
Assalamualaikum.
Assalamualaikum. N6131, yes?
Yes.
Okay, brilliant. Can you start from let's have a look. So if you can read this verse over here for me, please.
Okay. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم يا أيها الذين كفروا لا تعتذروا يوم إنما تجزون ما كنتم يعملون.
So there are a couple of points. So this over here, this ra with the waw, do you know what this is an example of? It's a letter of prolongation. Do you know what we call it?
Is it a lean letter?
Not a lean letter, not quite a lean. So it's not haruf al-lean, it's the other set of letters. Do you remember what they're called?
Is it madda?
Yeah, excellent. So what we're going to remember to do here is we've got the waw, sakin, and remember to recognize a madda letter. A waw madda, the letter before has got the stroke of dhamma. So you just need to prolong it a little bit longer to kafaru.
Kafaru.
Yep, and exactly the same over here. So this time we've got alif madda, we've got the alif, and the letter before has got a fatha. So again, it's going to be 2 seconds. Kafaru la ta'tadhiru.
Kafaru la ta'taziru.
Well done. And just over here, so this ta, I think you read it as a ya. So ya would be underneath. So just remember ta'malun. And again, you correctly paused and you made the fatha into a sukoon. And again, over here, I think you corrected yourself. So this example over here, this would be a lean letter because it's a waw with a sukoon, and the letter before's got a fatha. So al-yawm is how you would read that.
Okay.
If I can give you over here, so we've got an-nabija is if you're reading it continuously. If you're going to stop here on this ya mushaddad with a fatha, what stroke's going to replace it?
So the fatha would turn into a sukoon.
Yep, and how would you read that?
Zillahun nabi.
Yep. So not quite an-nabi, so we don't want to prolong it. An-nabij.
Okay, an-nabij.
Yeah, so just very quick, but you want that emphasis from the shadda. Over here, al-masiru, how would you read it if you're pausing?
Al-masir.
Yep, excellent. Over here, al-zalimina, How would you read it if you're pausing?
الظالمين.
Yeah, excellent. Jazakillah. So we have come to the end of the session. Again, I would remind all of you, definitely visit that lesson. For Al-Tabdil, it's lesson 42 and 43, which cover all of our cases of Waqf. So definitely, if you get chance, please do go over that. It's got some really good examples from the Holy Quran, which you can use to practice. And I am going to just ask, is it N6131 with me at the moment? Yeah.
Yeah.
If you could just read the final prayer so we can conclude our session.
اللهم ارحمني بالقرآن العظيم واجعله لي إماما ونورا وهدى ورحمة.
Well done. And the translation?
O Allah, have mercy on me through the great Quran and make it for me the leader, the light, the guidance, and the mercy.
Excellent. Jazakumullah. That's very well read. So Jazakumullah everyone for attending today's session, and inshallah the final class of the week will be tomorrow. Just a very, very quick reminder, you can access the recordings. nqc.org.uk is the easiest way to access them. Class recordings and G2 class recordings, that will take you to all the sessions that we've had so far. Let me just go back. So class recordings, G2. Yeah, so that will take you to this page, and that's the sessions that we've had so far. So please do revise them, and definitely check out this lesson on YouTube if you get the chance. It's a very good way to practice the rules that we've covered so far. So Jazakumullah, and inshallah see you in tomorrow's lesson. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.